Hello and welcome. We are here casting the NECC Overwatch Emergence Northeast uh, Championship match. I am Blake Brigham of the Gold Team.
And
Joined.
I am Jackson Arnold of No Team. And we are excited to give you all the insight, updates, and of course, some play by play action of this very, very important game for our Overwatch White team. It should be very exciting. See some two of the top competitors of this league go head to head for everything. So,
And that is Center College White, Overwatch White versus Robert Morris University Red. Um, I'm going to take a moment talk about Center White's season so far this year, and it has been a perfect golden season. They have lost 0 matches throughout the entirety of their regular season and in all of playoffs. Individual maps lost numbers to 3, an unprecedented number for Center White ever seen, and they are playing such a strong season. And I'm very excited to see um, how they play this final match. It's been hyped up for honestly weeks now, and I'm excited for everyone who's come to join us. Real quick, we have 6 players on Overwatch White. It might be a good idea to introduce them.
yeah, it sounds
start it out.
good. First up, we have Blake Big Soup Shrewsbury. He is the tank of the team, the main tank. But this is his second season of play. He's a first year, and he is swapped from DPS to tank role for this semester. So he's tank is one of the most important roles in Overwatch 2 at the very least, and it's very important in Overwatch 1. But so seeing such a great season from Overwatch White with a pretty much a fresh tank in the collegiate scene is very impressive. So it speaks a lot to Big Soup's skill here. Move on.
Yeah. Moving on to Jonathan Chonky Ghost Cromer, our up and coming team captain for Center White. He is a junior and just came back from being abroad to captain the White team. He mostly plays DPS, but he has been known to swap on to the support a couple of times for Center White. And, he really is the shot caller and the central driving force of the team. And he's been leading Center White to victory game after game.
Mm-hmm. And moving on to our third player, we have Diego Doodoo Voodoo Luera. No, thank you. And he is one of the 2 DPSs, the other DPS to Chonky Ghost pair here. And his main characters are Reaper and Sombra. So if you've ever seen an Overwatch White highlight reel, you've probably seen Doodoo Voodoo sneaking in the backline with that, with his Reaper and ulting and annihilating the whole team. So hopefully we get to see some of that in this game as well. And he's just a very solid DPS, probably the backbone of Center's damage dealing capabilities here.
He is very consistent and played that role for so long.
Yes.
For Center White. As we move on to Center White's newest player, Lucas Skelogello Pointner. His first season playing collegiate Overwatch, he is a freshman, and he has started strong on the DPS role this season. And from what I've gathered, it's been a great learning experience for him, and he feels like he's really grown a lot this season in this new role. And I'm really happy to see even the newest member of White Team finding so much success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very heartening. The future of Overwatch esports here at Center is very bright. Last, we have our 2 supports. So first up on that list is Leaf Stargarden, apologies, Becker. And yeah, he's plays mainly Kiriko and Lucio, so more of those off support kind of roles, less healing, more speed or more brief immortality. Yeah, utility, as you would put. And he's feels like he has progressed a lot in the season, and we're excited to see if his skills match up here in this final match of the whole thing.
And we go on to our final player, another freshman. Just like Leaf.
Oh, yeah.
Drake Rat King Wright. It's also his second season in the NECC. He is a support player. And one thing I can personally say is that he is most definitely one of the more analytical minds of Center White. He always has something going on in the back of his head. He may not always say it, but he has plans, he has ideas, and he has thoughts. And honestly, those kind of things. I know it sounds a little simple, but honestly, when you're in the heat of the game, sometimes it's hard to think about the upper level things. And so I've always known our good player Drake Rat King right over here to give some wonderful ideas and strategies when we seem hopeless. So I know that white team is going to make full use of those skills that he brings to the table, and that's all 6 of our players. We now Overwatch is a 5-player game, so we won't see all 6 of them in at once. We'll be rotating in and out, and that will be left up to the white team themselves. We'll make sure to note any changes that happen in game.
Yes, and I think speaking of trying to describing Overwatch, we might have a lot of new viewers here, so maybe we should explain the entire game very briefly to give some context to what you're about to see. Overwatch, as Blake just said, is a 5v5 game, a hero shooter in particular. So you'll see 2 teams of 5 players each. Each will choose a character in one of 3 roles: tank, DPS, and support. And in Overwatch, that's a very rigid delineation. So you'll see 1 tank, 2 DPSs, 2 supports. And the goal, there's different game modes, but typically they all revolve around 1 or 2 objectives that the teams have to go after and try to capture or push down push like a cart down a road or something like that. So a lot of fights happening on point as teams use their characters or players use their abilities and their gunplay in order to take down the opponent and capture the objective and hopefully win the map.
And we will try our best to help give some reference and some names and some ideas for what each type of game mode and what map has, what different characters can do as we go through this series. I believe we have a next guest coming in to speak real quick. Captain of the gold team,
it's time.
Joseph Galvanizo Matthews, coming in to share some wisdom with us here.
What wisdom do you have to share?
Well, just a lot of wisdom. I'm a pretty wise guy, so I'm just kind of here to, sort of spread the word about white team. So like, as you all, I'm sure, are well aware, I have been trying to help out the white team like as much as I can. Like, since the gold team, I'm sure we're pretty devastated about it, but unfortunately we were knocked out in the quarterfinals, and so we will not be showing up in grand finals. But white team did clutch up. They did get 2 dubs, 1 for quarterfinals, 1 for semifinals. So super proud of them. So I've been trying to sort of help out the white team, like develop some strategies going into this game. So I'm super excited for them to show off what they got going on.
One could say the mind behind the chats.
Yeah, yes.
Given
Well,
what
you know what?
coaching.
Okay, I will be honest though. I'm mostly just there to sort of like act as, like in bowling, you have like safety rails, right? Like I'm sort of like I'm kind of a real guy. So like they're sort of like developing like their own sort of strategies like themselves. So it's a big thing. So like going into this match, I am very excited to show what they've sort of developed.
And so, what will your role be in this match here?
So I will be in team spec. So I will be sort of unofficially coaching them, like I've done in previous matches and previous scrims before. So for those concerned, I am abiding by the NECC rules. I am basically just stepping in as a sort of unofficial coach. So I'll just be sort of like in between rounds. I'll just be like, hey, they're doing this. Let's look at this. So I'm super excited to see just what they're gonna pull out. So see what happens.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun.
Very fun match indeed. And while Center White has found a lot of success this season, they are facing the strongest other team inside of their division.
Undoubtedly.
It is going to be a tough match. It's not going to go how anyone really expects it or thinks it might go. I'm ready to see the twists and turns that happen. See how our team forges themselves through the fire.
Yeah. And I'm sure you all probably already talked about it before, but Sarah White is coming off of an undefeated season. Like they have not dropped a single game this entire season. Obviously in playoffs, but they've only dropped 3 or 4 maps. Something
3 maps total.
Yeah, 3 maps total. So
that is insane.
That is crazy for this season. So guess the only way to end the season is with another dub, right?
I'm excited for another 4-0, I guess, since
best
of 4.
Yes, it is. So for anyone unaware, it is it's best of 7, first of 4. So Center White, unlike last time, they will need 4 maps in order to win this series. So we might be in for a bit of a slugfest. We'll have to see. But given how close these two teams are, no doubt I am predicting a map 5. I think center white 4-3.
All right.
I'm excited to see it.
Exciting, yeah.
If it's not a roll like altogether. I can also see it 4-0. Yeah, I'm hyper confident in the white team, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Want to see what
I'm going to
RU brings the
refrain
table.
from making any ideas just because of caster curse.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, you see, that's what I'm saying. Because
Exactly.
I'm not casting this game.
I mean, yeah. So if you tuned into their semifinals match last week, you'll know that even though they won most of those games, they were very back and forth. It
Mhm.
was center. I can't remember the team that center white played.
It was
Unfortunately,
Ohio Wesleyan
Yes.
for semifinals.
yes. Ohio Wesleyan. They were kind of working hard. They were pushing us very very hard at the beginning of each and every round of a match of the map, and then with center white would always come back and find their way and adapt and make it through. But it does mean we should probably see some pretty exciting stuff here.
Yeah, I mean, dropping a map to Ohio Wesleyan, like that's not like the biggest deal. Like, I think like just like seeing that game like firsthand, like I think Center White was definitely caught off guard, but they've been working on their circuit royale, so they kind of know like what they want to sort of like be doing like in this series. Like if it does go to circuit, like who knows? For those unaware, circuit royale is an escort map. Sorry, just want to go ahead and explain this for anyone not too familiar with Overwatch. Circuit royale is an escort map where you have to push the payload all the way to the end, and each team takes turns attacking and defending. So with that in mind, Center did get a bit jostled there. They did drop the map to Ohio Wesleyan, but I think going into this map, they know what they're doing. So I expect them to do well there.
They've been preparing for this match. I have full confidence in their abilities.
Same here. I am fully confident. Jackson, are you confident?
Yeah. I haven't followed them as closely as both of you, so I have a lot of recency bias from the last match, but I think they can still do it. I mean, with that record, it's hard to contest.
Oh yeah.
Do
Yeah.
Do we know Robert Morris's record?
I believe they're 6-1, if I remember. White team was talking about it. I think they dropped the series to Trent, I think they played in the semifinals. But they did redeem themselves because they did, obviously, because they're here now. But they won 3-1 against Trent. I think it was either quarterfinals or semifinals. Probably semifinals, but who knows that.
Either way, it shows that RMU has some great growth potential to the one team that they had fallen to. So we know this is going to be a bit of a struggle, a bit of a fight either way. I'm excited to see the back and forth of these games. I doubt there's ever going to be a map that's one-sided for either team.
Yeah, absolutely. I am expecting a full show tonight. Like, be ready for this to be a 6-hour series. No. Maximum, I imagine it'll only be 2 hours if we're going to like a best of 7. But if it does go that long, I mean, that's 2 hours of really good content. So, you know what? As a video editor, I'm not complaining. I got plenty of clips to use. But hey, it is 6 o'clock right now, so I actually do have to go set up for the game. So thank you all for having me on. I know you all didn't invite me. I sort of just like walked in, but I'm happy you all let me.
No problemo. All right, now that that guy's out here. Ooh. So, real quick, we are going to play a cool promo video about the season of Overwatch White. So please stay tuned and watch vividly.
As Death Blossom coming through, the bubble is gonna save him his life.
From Big Soup, it's gonna be a massive double two.
All right, exciting stuff. Hopefully, you can get more of what that came from. You stay tuned for the next couple minutes as the game starts.
As we get into the start time, we know that White Team is going to be spending some time talking about maps, talking about what they want to do. I'm sure they've had plenty of time to deliberate it, but even just right before the match starts, there is always this discussion and this planning, especially now at the finals. Everything rides on this match, and I know every player has that in their minds.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure.
So you've spent more time with them than I have. What do you think their first map's going to be? What are they going to?
They are, if they have choice, I don't remember which one actually gets the choice of the first map, but they are Nepal Warriors front and back. Nepal, where the first map we go into is Control Point. There are 3 separate submaps. Both teams are going to duke it out for control. It's almost kind of like King of the Hill. They vie out for control of a point in the middle of the map, and whoever has it gets it over to 100% first will win that submap. The first time they get 2 wins on the 2 of the 3 maps won, that team wins. And Center has a strong history on Nepal, a map about monasteries up in the hills, and the mountains of Nepal. It's a really, most of the maps in Overwatch are absolutely beautiful, but they have strategies ready. I'm trying to think of what the other map they love to play on Control. I think it's probably just Lijiang Tower, the probably most popular Control map in Overwatch.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid pick anytime, and it's fun to point out that both those maps, and maybe this is all control point maps. And I think about it, have some sort of way to knock your opponent off.
The majority of them do. It is a very fun thing. Environmental kills.
Yes.
If you knock someone off the map into a bottomless pit, you've killed them instantly. You don't need to get rid of any of their health or any of their cooldowns. It is a very powerful ability if you can boop someone off of the map, especially if they have no ability to get back.
And we might see a few of these so-called boot kills here on if we end up playing Nepal Inner Sanctum. It's right by the point. Big old boot spot. Lijiang Night Market.
Night Market and I don't even remember what the map is, but the one at the bridges.
Yes.
Night Market's
Garden or something.
Garden, yeah. Lijiang Night Market and Garden has some very dangerous edges right next to the control point. And I know Big Soup on that Orisa, he loves spinning. And that spin, Orisa, the tank character, she has a spin, it pushes people back. And if they get pushed off the edge, well, Orisa just got a whole bunch of value off that ability.
Well, as we move into, looks like the lobby's up, so we should get started here shortly. Any predictions on their opening team comp here?
I'm guessing they're going to go with a strong standard rush comp that they have. It's probably going to be Orisa, Reaper, Mei. Between Kiriko and Lucio, they usually start on Lucio and then swap to Kiri once things don't work out, and then Moira. And I'm guessing the starting comp is going to be Big Soup on tank, obviously. Anytime I say a tank character, that's Big Soup.
Yes.
We're going to get Doodoo Boodoo and Chunky Ghost on the DPS, and Star Garden and Rat King on the supports.
Sensible.
That usually their starting lineup they have had all season of starting on control maps. Control maps are usually the strongest maps for any team just because of the fact you will always play it very first in every single one of your series. So a lot of teams have a lot of practice on it. It is a rush heavy map. There's a bunch of different team comps in Overwatch, but rush, the whole idea of it is to group together in a ball and run into the enemy and hope you win.
Yeah, it's a very brawly style of play, which is fun to watch because it's a lot of damage getting thrown around, a lot of characters getting thrown around by certain abilities. So
very high tension.
Yes,
and if we see other types of comps, I'll instantly I'll let you guys know what it's all about, what the white team is going to be looking to play into that comp, and what RMU red is going to be looking into play against white team. There's a lot of mind games and macro level plays that have to be made almost constantly by those who are making the shots. For both teams, based off of what you see, what the situation is, the point. There's a lot to think about in an Overwatch match that a lot of people don't really, think about.
Yeah. And something to consider for anybody that's not very familiar with Overwatch, and what I didn't say earlier, is that you can swap characters at any time during the course of the game. So there's a lot of asymmetric matchups. So some characters are really good in defeating other characters and vice versa. So if you're getting what we call hard countered, it's pretty easy to go back to your spawn, press H, find a new character, find a new hero to play that will better fit the situation at hand.
There's only one cost for swapping heroes, other than time, of course. Every character has a super powerful ability called an ultimate. You charge it up over a match, but if you swap characters, you lose almost all of that charge you had for the ultimate. It builds up over time and with damage and healing done by your character. And ultimates are what make and break games. They win fights. They are the most powerful abilities in Overwatch, and honestly, one of the most fun parts to watch too.
Yeah.
There will be times this match where colors will be flying across the screen and things will be hard to follow, but trust us, Overwatch is just kind of like that. Sometimes. We'll try our best to help guide you through it.
Yeah. And so on that note, you'll see us point out each team's collective ult charge up in as displayed in the top left and right corner of the screen, just to get a sense of how the tempo of the fight, tempo of the map's going. Who should we expect to see win in the next fight? Because if you have your ultimate and another team doesn't, odds are you're winning that fight. So that's just something to keep watch out here.
This just in, I just got some breaking news.
Oh.
The map that we're heading to is Oasis, one that I don't think I've seen Center White play on before. It is, I have my opinions on the map for sure. I'm not a big fan, but it is a fun map to play, and it looks like we will be getting in soon. So I'll just say real quick, it is set in a very high-tech university somewhere in the Middle East that I can't remember.
Is a city-state in the lore of Overwatch. It is a city-state that formed out of Iraq. So there's a city. I don't know exactly what it's called.
Probably Oasis City or something.
Yeah, it might even be Baghdad itself.
It might be.
Yeah, seceded from Iraq. I know such such interesting lore that has and got taken over by the what's Symmetra's corporation?
Vishkar
Corporation took it over, made into some tech utopia in the middle of the desert, and ready to see our heroes duke it out in the midst of fine Middle Eastern splendor.
For real. And we have our lore expert here to give us any lore that is needed ever in this match. So I, for one, feel a lot more secure with you here.
That was my life.
I will say Oasis, depending on what submap we get, we might actually see some changes from the rush. I think that core comp is going to stick, but especially on City Center, which is the most open, wide map, where rush kind of struggles a bit more, we might see some differences, but I know a lot of teams have struggled it through, and it looks like we're just starting to get into the game. So let's see what's happening as we start the first match of the NECC Emergence Northeast Conference of the Finals of Center College White versus RMU Red.
Yes. So you see our cameraman here panning around the map, giving you a sense of the layout. So we're starting here on Library, I believe. That's what this summit is called.
I think so. I'm not sure, but looking at the comps, we see a bit different from what I called. Chonky Ghost actually on the Reaper here. A rare side I've seen it a couple of times, but we do see Doodoo Voodoo on that Sombra. He is going to start out, and he is going to start scheming. Doodoo Voodoo recently picked up Sombra this season, and has been running wild in the division with it, causing all sorts of mayhem in the backline. Sombra is a DPS character that can go invisible and absolutely cause chaos, and it locks people out of their important abilities at the start. We also see Big Soup on the Diva, which I did not expect to see. She is a bit of a more rush brawly tank still, but she has the mobility to get up, and we see a very common comp I see on Center Gold of the Orisa Tracer Sojourn, as they take the high ground at the beginning of this fight, giving Center a lot of space on point.
So Center is deciding not to try to contest this too hard, waiting for that point to unlock and hopefully grab it. But we see Big Suit making up there. We have a Tracer in the back line here from RMU.
We see the Suzu come out really quickly from Center too. A lot of resources being pulled up really quickly.
Unfortunately, Stargarden got picked off very early there from Heart Sojourn. Railgun blast right to the head will do that to you. Center hasn't stopped yet. Rat King
goes down.
Really weak.
And there goes Rat King too. That's the first pick in the fight usually determines the fight, and seeing Stargarden get picked so early is really going to cause a lot of damage. A big save though.
Oh wow, that was huge as Big Soup dashed out and bullets following. RMU has pushed Center all the way back up nearly to their spawn, giving them full control of the point. But it backed off with it.
And we do see swaps on our DPS as well. Chunky Ghost going on to the Cole Cassidy. A very strong Tracer counter as there goes Pulse Bomb, but Doodoo Voodoo swapping over to Reaper gets picked off early. Center's getting a bit bruised at the beginning of these fights.
Yeah, Carter Sojourn there is very, very deadly, it seems. they're gonna have to work hard to pay attention to him.
There's the massive Terra Surge from Maruki over here, not getting any picks, and the lamp is forced out. There goes the Kitsune Rush from Stargarden, giving massive buff to all of his teammates.
Yeah, there we see lamp drop. So
There's the Coalescence from Moriwell, a powerful beam of
yeah,
healing.
countered by the amplification matrix there from Nocturna there on.
And we see Big Soup use his ultimate as well. 3 ultimates from center without a single pick as they get taken off out one by one. Not a good fight as we see Big Soup swap to Zarya.
Yeah, they got a lot of burst damage there. That from that Sojourn from that Baptiste. Sojourn's ability, for those who don't know, is she shoots just regular bullets from her gun, but when she shoots enough, she charges up for a railgun shot, which is one big single-use blast that can instantly take down weaker champions or weaker heroes. And
Beginning pick from
yeah.
Chonky Ghost, a massive play.
Yeah, hits getting countered there. Chonky Ghost also taking down Echo. Unfortunately, we did see Doodoo try to ult there, kind of in the backline, but got moved away by Kindling's Lucio. Which is quite
There goes the beat from the Lucio as well.
Racking
Coming out.
falls, but Chonky Ghost is using his ult here. Oh, and he gets Maruki.
Yeah,
at
that's a high
Maruki.
noon.
Yeah, right in the middle of Maruki's ult. No more tank there for RMU, but unfortunately,
Big
Center
Soup
doesn't
traded.
have either. And Echo takes on Chonky Ghost.
With the overclock coming out from Echo, where she can railgun as fast as she wants, and the point goes to RMU Red.
Yeah.
That was such a fast fight. There was so much I wanted to say that I couldn't get in time. Center was going into that fight with absolutely no ult advantage. They had one ultimate, High Noon, which is one of the worst ultimates in the game, versus 4 super strong ultimates from RMU. Maruki had built a second Terra Surge in that time of the fight, but then Center was able to make a big play, getting both picks from Chonky Ghost onto their DPS, able to let them make a play, and Chonky Ghost finally finishing off the Terra Surge from Maruki as well. But once they respawned and they pushed Q, Center didn't have anything to fight against it.
It was a good start. It might have worked too if Doodoo's Reaper ult there, Death Blossom, didn't get booped away and not be able to get any value from it, or if you saved it a little longer.
I'm hoping to see a little more conservative use of ults here, as they seem to not have gotten as much value as they wanted.
No, they did not.
We see the Lucio speed out of spawn strat, quite a popular strat too, as he can just swap to Kiriko and just come straight back. They gotta watch out for the boop here. Another hit from Chonky Ghost.
And Big Soup unfortunately gets booped off by Kindling. That is not a good
It's
sign
traded
at all.
so far, but it's still winnable. But then Chonky goes down to a second boop kill from Kindling. It wasn't off the map, but it still looks like the ability, so I like to say it.
Yeah, these supports are quite deadly between Nocturna's Baptiste and Kindling's Lucio.
I think Maruki's Orisa is just causing so much space and damage to center, and the Zarya from Big Soup here just isn't able to contest the Orisa nearly as hard. Honestly, I would like to see the Big Soup swap to Orisa himself. The Soup, and we see Tracer hiding in the corner there.
Okay.
Center
Did not take the bait though.
Center going around wide. Really ruining the positioning of RMU Red here.
Tracer's been spotted in the backline. Use that recall very early.
That's a resource taken out. Recall allows Tracer to essentially go back 3 seconds in time, back at the health and ammo she had. It's really powerful when you're trying to duel someone. As Doodoo DPs into the backline, getting picked off by Carter
really
Card.
fast.
We see the Maruki Terra Surge coming out too, getting a massive amount of centers players there. Both
We see Coalescence, Racking from Coalescence came out. It did some damage, but it wasn't enough to take down a fully fortified Orisa.
It just wasn't enough, fast enough in time, as Maruki was just able to get in with the ultimate faster. And Center had already lost one of their DPS. And again, like I said, first person to get picked in a fight, that team is more than likely going to lose, statistically.
I mean, it's just numbers. You have more damage to deal, more health to take damage from.
More ultimates charging, more ultimates to use. As we look at the ultimates here, they have ult advantage pretty strongly, almost on 3, as we only are close to 2 for Center. Big Soup really struggling to get that Graviton Surge, not only a slow building ultimate. As they move in now, the Orisa low on HP, Lamp is forced out.
Lamp is out.
There goes the Kitsune Rush as well, it's bubbling onto the Doodoo as information matrix comes out.
Oh, we see another huge high noon from the top level there. We see claps coming from outside, or we hear them, I should say. And Center takes the point for the first time this series, and hopefully they can keep it.
I'm hoping for
Gather
a
some
turning
momentum
point
there.
here.
Yeah.
Looking at the positioning here, center is really forward, not taking any use of the high ground on point. They want to fight fast, it seems. Looks like they're going to try and build up for a Grav and a Death Blossom. Graviton forcing everyone together as RMU Red's moving in on the inside, juking Big Soup as Tracer gets free reign at the high ground. Their entire team gets free reign up high ground, which is an extreme advantage for them. If the center just plays under them, though, they might be all right.
There's not really much you can do if you're under that walkway there.
Instead, they're pressuring them, but Chunky Ghost takes out Echo on the Tracer.
Oh, Doodoo Voodoo got chased down.
Big Soup almost dead. So his Star Garden, as the overclock comes out, a lot of damage going on to center here, and it looks like the fight is gonna flip. They, Rat King and Star Garden needs to stay alive here. It's all up to Rat King to get that final touch, because I don't think anyone else, other than maybe Doodoo Voodoo, can get it here. But they're not in position for it. If they don't go for it now, they won't get the touch.
It's not gonna happen. Oh wait, maybe.
There goes there's
Coalescence.
There is
He
a touch
does
on point.
touch it.
Coalescence keeping him alive for just a second longer, able to get the touch. And there's the rest of the center as
Oh, Lucio trying to come in. He does get the
gets the
touch.
touch as we need to see the Graviton Surge come out. That's a massive grab, but not enough damage coming in as Doodoo Voodoo comes in with a Death Blossom, but is it enough? I can see 5 of them. No, it is not.
Plus a sound barrier coming down from Kindling to boost the health of everybody. That was tough.
First map is going to go to RMU Red 0-2 for center. I think that last map there, they mispositioned pretty hard there. They were really forward. RMU noticed it and just walked around. We do see an amazing play of the game from Chonky Ghost here, as we see the power of high ground when no one else is there.
Yeah. You got a really good magnetic grenade there off on that Tracer, forcing Tracer down and meaning there was no one there to pressure, allowing to get into that position when no one else expected it. Unfortunately, was not enough to turn the tide there. I think center with that play where they're very pushed up. I mean, they were just thinking they had to play risky. The RMU was already so far ahead on charge and
87 to 6%.
yeah, it was a tough position to be in. Fortunately, did not go to center's favor.
I think center needs to take a little bit of time, think about their positioning more, for sure. The positioning where everyone on the low ground, even just a Cassidy on high ground, can make a world of differences. They essentially gave the most advantageous position to RMU Red at that last fight.
Yeah, it was hopefully a learning experience here. Hopefully center will retool and think about where to start on. Actually, what map type are we moving to?
Next map type we move to is Escort, a very popular game mode in most FPSs. There is a cart and a predetermined path. The attacking team needs to sit on the cart up to a maximum of 3 people to increase the speed, and try and get that cart as far as you can throughout the map. If you get it to the end, it goes over to the other side. If you run out of time, it goes to the other side. The enemy team's job is to set up in some really strong defensive positions. Unlike the control point maps, these are not symmetrical maps. There is a defense side and an attacking side. Defenders are doing all they can to stop that cart, and if they get near it, the attackers cannot push it. So it forces the attackers to eliminate the defenders before they can really progress. For guessing on maps, I'm really unsure on what center favors for Escort. It is their choice as losers. RMU is going to get the first ban, and it looks like we're going to beautiful Rialto and Italy, I believe. A very fun map, in my opinion. We played a lot on Gold Team. It's very open and it has a bunch of different play styles. You can run poke, you can run dive. Poke is you sit behind a big shield and shoot people from long range, and dive is you choose characters that can go in really fast and try and disrupt the enemy team. And I'm excited to see what happens. It looks like, for the moment, center is going to start on defense with RMU on attack. We'll see if that changes in a second, but I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
I think center saw the issues of their first map and improved. And I want them to see the issues of the second map of Control Point and improve from that as well.
Yeah, I mean, at least it was. They didn't get on the point at all the first map.
Exactly.
The second map, they did capture it. So it is improvement we're seeing, not denigration.
Exactly, and I'm sure that they are currently
Denigration.
discussing the plans and strategies here. Probably a couple of focus ups and, the classic roll currents.
Yes, roll currents. Roll currents.
Roll currents. Let's get some roll currents in the chat for our white team here.
Do we have a roll currents emote, Grant?
So sad. It looks like we don't. Really a failing of the athletics. I'm kidding.
All right. Well, so yeah, the fun thing about Rialto is because it takes place in Italy, a lot of canals everywhere. It's a very canal-heavy map, which means there's typically it follows that Italian architectural style of plazas encased in strips of building or just in case of building, I guess, that leading to an arch that goes over a bridge that leads to another street that has another building adjoining it. So there's places for characters to hide and duke it out in close quarters, and then, as Blake was saying a second ago, wide open spaces for you to do some poke damage from long range.
Important to note, canals mean water, and water means instant death for whoever touches it.
Nobody's swimming in Overwatch. It's a really lackluster part of the Overwatch training, I think, is they don't learn how to swim.
Oasis had a couple of spots where you could knock someone off the map, but they are not nearly as prevalent as other control point maps. But Rialto has it pretty clear, as we see a pseudo poke comp from both teams here, running the Orisa. I love seeing Soup on the Orisa here. I think he should have played it on control point. We see Chunky Ghost on his favorite character, I believe, Ash.
Oh, really?
And Doodoo on his favorite character, Reaper. Otherwise, support lineup stays the same, and we do see one change from RMU Red as we see Echo swap from the Tracer to the Hanzo, but we're keeping Carter Cart, that dangerous DPS on Sojourn. They gotta be watching out for Carter Cart.
Yeah, yes they do. But this might go in Sinner's favor a bit here, because in the last map, it was like, I don't know, so a Tracer could if they had kept the Tracer, that would have impacted Chunky Ghost a lot more here as he sits up on the high ground. But against the two more long-range champions like that Hanzo or like that Sojourn, it's a bit less asymmetrical in the fights here.
As we see the payload cart right here pushing along, but getting stopped by Big Soup and Doodoo Boodoo, the two frontline menaces of Center here. And important to note, Hanzo is a sniper character, but he used to be able to one-shot characters if he got a headshot, but not anymore. So that's actually a nice buff that you don't just, get destroyed by Hanzo.
By a lucky arrow flying out of nowhere.
And we see Center holding this corner right here, a classic one, but I don't see them really holding high ground anymore, from what I can tell.
No, there's not. Can't see quite where Chunky Ghost does. Win, but Sojourn getting very weak here. But Center is Hanzo backline.
Yeah,
Getting a little sneaky, but Moira here spotting him out. And
moving back and forth here. It's gonna be back and forth for quite a while until some ultimates come out. On that front, we almost have an ultimate from both main supports as Doodoo Boodoo gets picked off by a rail. Echo taking out our Moira Rat King as well. Center needs to get out and leave as 2 more picks in the third. That's a team kill.
Yeah, that was Doodoo Boodoo just kind of turned a corner, peeked into both a Carter Cart Sojourn that had full charge on the railgun and an Echo Hanzo that could just do a lot of damage instantly pretty much with that arrow.
There goes Dragons from Echo Hanzo as well, trying to force them from touching Cart. And it looks like they are barely in time.
They did touch.
Big getting booped off the map. So first pick going, and there's the beat coming out. So ult for ult here. Bob coming out from Chunky Ghost as well as they fight for the point. There goes Window as well. A lot of ults dodging the rail as Bob goes down, but they are holding.
If they can just Doodoo Boodoo dance around that cart, trying to stay out of the line of sight of the amplification. Make sure. Oh, there was a boop, and it was close, but it wasn't close enough.
But it is enough of a boop to get them knocked off the cart as they use 2 more ults after the checkpoint is reached. Note, there are checkpoints on maps that change the spawns for both the attackers and the defenders, and the cart can no longer progress backwards to pass before that point. If the cart is not touched for a significant amount of time, it starts rolling backwards to penalize the attackers for failing a fight. But it seems like RMU Red is just keeping up that momentum, but they did expend a lot of ultimates. But one thing I don't like to see is that right as we lost the point, we see Kitsune, we see Terra Surge coming out from Stargarden and Big Soup, another heavy ult investment after the fight is lost.
Yeah, and if we had not done that, which didn't net us any kills, we would have been up on ults compared to RMU here, but unfortunately we are still down even after RMU won that fight.
A fat finger, it looked like, from Doodoo Boodoo in the back
so
line.
Unfortunate.
As we see Chunky Ghost swap onto Soldier and Big Soup onto Zarya. Forgot to mention that. It seems still pokey, but the Zarya is an interesting pull here.
I think that the Terra Surge did get Stargarden, unfortunately.
And the first pick of the fight again. Big
Maruki
trade.
is down thanks to Big
A
Soup.
massive trade.
Uh-huh.
Voodoo goes down, but they still have advantage here if they play careful. As the Sojourn jumps up, that piece is
Oh, we got a boot, but it wasn't enough. Big Soup looking weak though.
the Dragons out.
All that's left is Moira for Big Soup to heal. Unfortunately, it was not enough. Center trying to back up here, but Echo takes down Rat King. And
Carter Cart onto the Chonky Ghost as well. They just every fight starts out with one pick
Yeah.
for RMU, and Sinner needs to be playing their lives more. I think they get picked first and they lose, especially with such a poke heavy comp. And
Oh, we see Dudu there going face right into Hanzo. Not a bad play with the Zarya shield double to assist. I don't think it actually came out that early enough for the arrow to not hit him.
I don't think it was planned, but it was a good
Yeah.
reaction for Big Soup as another bubble goes on to.
Coalescence coming in.
And
helping.
we do hit the second checkpoint of the map with the Coalescence coming in without much value, in my opinion.
Well, it did push him off. So Center now controls this choke point here.
Which is a really aggressive a hold as we see the beat come out early. A beat engage onto
Oh,
Big Soup. So much damage.
Holy off. Is Center having enough healing here? It's like, what is...
I think it's more so their positioning every
Yeah.
time. Either they're too aggressive or not aggressive enough. And I personally think they were holding far too aggressive there, especially after hearing the beat. The second that beat comes out, Center should be running away. As
Yeah.
we see, the only ultimate for Center is two ultimates now, a heavy combo of Kitsune Rush and Visor. Visor essentially gives aim hacks for Soldier. Kitsune Rush increases the attack speed.
Oh, here we go. We see both of them coming out.
So long as Soldier
go
can live.
stay alive long enough.
They run
They're
away.
backing up. They're but Center is
No picks.
no picks.
They
did
do
back up.
force out dragons from Echo. Not a great ultimate, but still an ultimate wasted nonetheless. But the ult advantage still lies pretty heavily for RMU Red. But we are getting up there. We're close to matching up. And Hanzo's alone, getting picked off by Rat King and Dudu Voodoo here.
Good pick. Good pick. And Lucia almost fell there, but wasn't enough. But there goes Carter.
A second pick from Dudu Voodoo
Both
here.
their DPSs are gone. That gives Center plenty of license. Dudu does fall, but Chonky Ghost picks up both supports. All that should be left is their tank. It's unfortunate they didn't pick him up. He got away, but that's
That was a dirty Helix rocket.
Yeah.
I saw it flame directly into them there.
a pivotal fight here for Center. They stopped the momentum. They picked up a lot of ult charge. Hopefully this can be enough to turn the tide.
I want to see Center ult first here. I want to see a Q press before RMU Red does.
Yeah, and it looks like that might not happen. They might be trying to get that Sojourn out of position.
Either way, they need to move.
Oh, here
There's
goes-
the
oh,
animations. It looks like a grab's gonna come out soon.
Oh
though.
no, there goes Dudu Voodoo. Coalescence
First pick,
coming out.
Coalescence as a defensive ult, but is it gonna
Big
be
Suit
enough?
fell. Stargarden falls to Terra Surge as well.
We see Dudu Voodoo also used their Death Blossom there.
They did? Oh no.
I don't know if it was called out or if the bubble just didn't reach there in time or he got picked before it, but that is leaving us only with Blossom, with only Graviton Surge and Visor here. As
Yeah,
we need to see
Dudu
Grav
Voodoo jump
get
back up.
destroyed by Orisa's spin.
Almost on accident, it felt like. That might have been purposeful and predicted, but it looked
They're
like
only in
they-
stall mode right now, and
Yeah.
there's no way for them to actually win this fight. As this Big Soup goes down as well, we keep seeing these minor mistakes, these minor
Yeah.
blunders that are going to cost them, but a lot. But I will say, a minute 30 left on Rialto is not a bad time.
Yes. So for those new to Overwatch, the way Escort works is now that the first round has finished, the teams are going to swap. So Center's now going to be on the attack and trying to push that cart down the exact same path. And if they also make it to the end, then we'll go into overtime rounds where Center they'll both take turns attacking and defending again, but they'll have much less time to do it. The time corresponding to how much time they had left on their initial attempt at the push. So, most likely, if we go into overtime, RMU will have a minute 23 seconds to push that card.
Yes.
That can change depending on how much time Center gets. It's a little weird. But
Important to note, technically they're not overtime rounds, they're just simple
apologize.
more rounds. There is a difference because overtime happens when someone's on an objective and the time has run out. It just doesn't end the game. There's someone on the objective. And important to note, so the goal of Center here is to push it all the way to the end. It doesn't matter how much time they have left in the sense of actually pushing there. If they do not get it to the end and time runs out, they're not on cart, they have lost the map. If they get up there with time spared, it goes into a second set of rounds. If they get in there with overtime, they are forced to push again as far as they can.
yeah,
And
and they cannot win if they're in
I
overtime.
believe on Escort, it still can be a win if there's an overtime. No, it is. I never remember the rules. They're a bit complicated, but let's get into the match itself. As we see a dive pump, Big Soup on Diva, Voodoo Voodoo onto the Genji, one of his characters I haven't seen much of, but I know he's proficient in, and Chonky Ghost on the Sojourn.
Alright, yeah, so we see the Stardrain taking out that Immortality field pretty quickly, but unfortunately Voodoo Voodoo gets caught in the room by Maruki. Maruki, incredible at just patching out our DPSs, bullying them till they fall.
A Orisa player through and through, an expert at taking space. One of the things Orisa is the best at, and the invisible resource of Overwatch, space. What presence your team can push forward, and usually it's a tank. As we see Echo on the Tracer again, causing so much havoc.
Yeah.
Harder Cart on the Sojourn is definitely the thing that they need to worry about.
And that's why they've chosen these characters. They've big. Oh,
Where goes the dive?
where did they even come from? It looked like it was horizontal to him. But anyway,
There's the Immortality.
yeah,
field
it
going
looked
in.
so a little less survivability. Unfortunately, Voodoo Voodoo did get caught on some geometry there while
A
that.
double boom kill onto both supports of Sinner from Kindling. He has been on fire.
Yeah, Sinner needs some more awareness of where they're standing.
Swapping over to the Cole Cassidy and the Reaper, no longer on the hyper dive, as every time they've tried to dive, it's failed.
Yes. Still have that big suit there on the Diva. Voodoo Voodoo going straight into Sojourn's face and immediately backing out. So he took a lot of damage.
A
and he
very
takes some more.
aggressive and risky play that I don't think would even pay off, even if he did get a pick there.
It looks like
A
Ghost
stick
gets
on the
stuck.
Chunky Ghost. Fun fact, he could have survived that if he held on to his roll, which gives
Yeah.
a 75% damage reduction if he just waited until it exploded. An unfortunate
Panic.
small mistake. Yeah, panic. As we see more swaps coming out from center, as we see Kitsune and Coalescence, the only ultimates from both supports, are still left. As Coalescence is popped early, but that Lucio, he's looking. Parasarge coming up with the...
Oh, and Terra Surge was a mistake here. Center managed to dive right on Maruki there. Unfortunately, we see the poop coming out. It took down Voodoo Voodoo.
We saw the panic teleport just coming in time. Oh, barely surviving, but they need to watch out as Kitsune Rush comes out, but Soup is so low up in front. Lucio constantly going for the boops.
Nocturna does fall off the map, though, on his own. It appears
Finally.
that Kindling goes down to a Star Garden headshot. A knife right to the noggin. And that's enough for Center to finally get control of this point and start pushing up.
But we gotta be careful. Amplification makes it Matrix from Baptiste doubles all damage shot through it, and Sojourn Rail is online. A single fully charged rail onto a squishy character of Center. Oh, a masterful shot.
Yeah, good picks there from. Oh, and he finds him. Finishes off Echo.
Yeah.
No mercy on the field to do a red. There's amplification metrics. We see Center bring out
Very
the,
dangerous.
and it almost paid off too if it weren't for that immortality.
Yeah,
field.
but it forces out MO as there
Oh.
goes Overclock going in super aggressive, but not getting punished without the Cole Cassidy on the team. As Bubble going on to Voodoo Voodoo in the backline as Maruki goes back too. It seems
kind of weak there, but unfortunately wasn't enough. Hardcart is down to Big Soup. Big Soup getting bullied here from the entire rest.
at least
of-
the trade, if they can come back fast, they might be able to get there before Carter Cart can get into a great position. They need to be fast though, and if Kindling is smart, they will go back and speed in Carter Cart.
Yeah.
We see two ultimates from RMU Red, almost free from Center here. I need to see Center ult first here, though. They need to take the aggression. As that Lucio
Kindling trying to look for a boop kill, but
Getting
unfortunately Center finds him. There goes the Immortality field, leaving Center free reign. There's a Tracer coming out, though, and Tracer did have the bomb, which used on Chunky Ghost, but falls to Big Soup. Center
There
in
goes
decent
Terrasert as
position
well.
here. But Voodoo Voodoo falls to
Just
that
a kill,
character.
a very good fight for them.
Yeah, there goes Nocturna.
There's the beat.
We got beat.
There's the Graviton Surge on the
Huge. Can they take down? Yes, there goes Maruki.
Just supports, and Carter Cart. Half HP in the back. They try and desperately take out the Lucio. They can't. They
Oh,
need to
Racking
focus on someone
falls.
else.
Okay, but here comes Soldier from Center. Can they? Oh, they gotta stay on that point though. Big Soup's the only one remaining. No more supports from Center's side. But Voodoo Voodoo's back as well. It's a bunch of damage versus a lot of heals. And there goes and Carter Cart also on point. And all that's left is Big Soup. He's been on this point for so long, but not long enough.
It looks like the defense of RMU Red was just too strong for Center.
Yeah.
As second map goes to RMU Red here. That first defense chokehold and the swaps that they forced out of Center back and forth really gave Center such a disadvantage in so many different ways.
Yeah, it was.
We see the play of the game from Echo as he got Voodoo Voodoo low, cleaned up by Carter Cart, and then nasty headshot on the Rat King. Just plinking away with
Yeah.
damage.
Sinner just has not been able to isolate either him or Echo or Carter Cart really when they're playing those long range DPSs. I mean, and the most we've seen is like Doodaboo's failed suicide charge into or suicide teleport, I should say, into the backline. Center needs to get better at isolating them, staying away from the Lucio boop, staying away from the Orisa bullying that's occurring. That's the only way they're gonna win these fights.
Once again, I just want to mention, I feel like it's those minor mistakes that keep building up. It's going over to an edge where Lucio can boop you multiple times. It is fat finger and ult. It is positioning, not taking the high ground, protecting it. All these little things add up, and RMU is taking advantage of every little thing they can find, especially with such a strong DPS lineup. I feel like it's Carter Cart and Maruki that's doing the most damage to center here. Maruki is up there distracting them. Carter Cart is just sitting there and shooting rails directly into the skull of center. And they don't seem to have much of an equivalent either on the tank or the DPS of the threats that both of them pose so far.
No, and I think I do think that Chunky Ghost could be the alternative or the counterpart to Carter Cart there on center's team, but we just don't see Big Soup providing the same amount of pressure, the same amount of space that Maruki is to the RMU team.
It seems like Maruki is getting a lot of free time and space into the backline of center, and you have, as many players of Overwatch know, as our tank runs into the backline, it is difficult to stop.
Yeah.
And it really needs some help. I do agree. Chalky Ghost has been showing some exemplary skill on the hit scan with Cole Cassidy, Soldier. I didn't see much out of the Sojourn, but that was such a brief pick. But the Cassidy was doing some really good damage out there.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of it from center, but I want to see some more team cohesion, perhaps a bit more target priority too. That Lucio just never died.
And Lucio's not very strong. He is fast. That's his Lucio's saving grace.
He's
but,
slippery.
Yes, but if you focus him, he can't dodge everything that gets thrown at him. So it's we definitely focus on the supports, focus on the DPSs. Just try to stay out of Maruki's way. I think.
And keep in mind, this is a best of 7 first to 4. This is only the first 2 maps.
Yeah.
It can turn around so easily. Both center Overwatch teams are actually quite known for their comeback. If I had a nickel for every time a map went to the final one and we won, I'd have, at least like $50 or something.
Wow,
and
that's a lot of money, folks.
quite a lot. I could get, half of an item from a vending machine with that.
Not anymore, you can't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, what will we be moving to next? What can Center make their redemption in?
The next game mode is the newest one in Overwatch, Flashpoint. Only 2 maps to choose from. New Junk City, which is set in Australia, which is kind of post-apocalyptic in this timeline.
Yeah, think Mad Max happened for real, but the rest of the world kind of carried on, and that's what New Junk City is.
And Suravasa in India, which is a beautiful map and far better than New Junk City, in my unbiased opinion. I believe the winner gets to pick it simply because it's the newest game mode, and there is only 2 maps for it, meaning a ban system doesn't quite work for it.
Yeah.
In these maps, Flashpoint, it's very similar to Control. Instead of having a single point on the map, we have one massive map with 5 control points on it, each that unlock in successive order. And it goes much faster than your normal control point map. You'll see the percentage at the top go from 20% to like 80 in half a minute. So it is quick fights. It is very important to use your ultimates carefully and track the enemy ultimates too. It's a bit more of a macro game on the ultimate side that they need to pay attention to, because ultimate will win fights. And if you have 70% left, like if the enemy has 70% and they win a fight, you're likely not to get even back to the point in time. So it is really important to be careful and think about that stuff. And it sounds like we are heading to beautiful, beautiful Suravasa. And that's the right choice, the objectively correct one. Even though I love the aesthetic of New Junk City.
I like Junkertown's aesthetic better. I think New Junk City is just like that without like the structure that makes Junkertown interesting. It's just like rusted metal plates everywhere. Ooh. Suravasa.
It is architectural beauty, I'd like to say. Lots of arches. One thing you can always say about Overwatch is that its maps are absolutely amazing, at least in stylization. People can argue about balance of the maps or anything, but They are beautiful to look at. They
Yeah.
are lovingly designed. And it looks like we're going to be getting into the game fairly soon. I'm guessing we're going to see rush comps from both. We're going to see that Sojourn Tracer Orisa comp from Army Red. I'm hoping to see Orisa come out from Center again. And I want to
I
see
think it's time, yeah.
probably a Cass and a Reaper. That's what I would want to see. And then keep the support lineup of Kirimura.
What do you think about Ramatra?
Ramatra is very strong right now, and I know Big Soup has been practicing it as well. I would not dislike it.
Okay.
One important thing is that Ramatra can just stay alive for so long. Ramatra is a robot hero who has a little staff that he shoots things at. It's not very dangerous. And then he can become the biggest punching berserker in the world. And he is scary if you are a squishy character. If you're not a tank in this game and he's up in your face, there's not much you can do. And he has so much survivability because he can block half of all damage coming towards him at any point in his life, pretty much. As we go into beautiful, beautiful Servasa, it is going to be a fast game mode. If you see 50% for one team on a control point, it's likely they're going to get it. As we see Queen Doom, we'll see what happens. But a standard Brawl Rush comp coming out from Center White here. Ramatra, May, Reaper, Lucio, Rat King. So this is the idea of Rush taken to its extreme as we see the classic Center Pineapple Pizza come out.
Yeah.
Every time in spawn, they stop for a second, they have a little snack. Brain food, as most college students will know, is pizza as they get ready for the game. As we see Sombra from Doodoo Voodoo, Sombra is his favorite. I'm excited to see him get some damage in the backline as this is a full-inch rush comp. They're going to walk into the enemy as fast as they can. And we see a similar one coming out from RMU.
I think that isn't important here for Center to isolate that Sojourn as we were talking about. And here we go. Echo, Doodoo Voodoo finding an early kill on Echo. First one, as we say, that first kill is pretty much defines who's going to win this fight. Chunky Ghost spraying ice everywhere, and there goes Kindling. Stargarden falls, unfortunately, but Kiriko is getting iced away. Can they get the pick? Oh, he's on top. We can't find him. And Rat King falls to Carter Cart. Doodoo Voodoo also goes down to Carter Cart.
This fight was such in Center's favor is starting to turn around very quickly with no supports left on point.
Oh, they paid attention to everyone but the most dangerous one. Carter Cart just given free reign to find picks on everybody, and they got distracted by Nocturna there. Nocturna climbing up the wall and hiding out on the top. That was an unfortunate turnaround there for Center
I will
College.
say this is Doodoo Voodoo's map. This is his Sombra map, and we've already seen it happen. I know Doodoo Voodoo can make some plays here.
Yeah, up there, hiding out on top.
Important thing to note, May is a character that can put up walls just like that to split the team, as Doodoo Voodoo reveals his stealth as he goes in for a hack onto the Queen. That's actually quite massive, blocking out the Queen from any of her defensive utility. And a tank trade at the very beginning is massive.
Yeah. Center in a good spot here.
Kiriko is once again on the top of the roof, but they see Sojourn
there on Sojourn. That was huge.
Carter Cart getting picked down. A real missed position from Carter Cart, I believe.
Yeah.
Dropping onto point there in the middle of a brawl.
And Center gets their hand on that point early enough where hopefully they can have it. Though I think if RMU takes this pick again, if they're able to capture it, it should.
Voodoo's waiting.
He's right behind them. They don't suspect a thing, but look at that Sojourn.
That Carter Cart might die. He's not getting healed.
Yeah. We see some damage go on him. We see a little virus get activated. But
I want to see Coalescence come out quickly here before Carter Cart can use
their there it is, and we see the ice wall coming out from Chonky Ghost, putting a lot of damage there into him. Ramatra transforming into his big brawling.
A bunch of ultimates are going to come out. There's the Blizzard. Freezing. There goes Suzu as well. The fight's seemingly going in Center's favor as
and they have overtaken RMU now, and there we go.
First pick.
We see Big Soup stuck here, but it doesn't matter except Rat King was next to him, and it unfortunately fell as well. And Big Soup goes down to the combined damage there of Carter Cart. Starker had that ult, unfortunately, didn't use it fast enough. But Doodoo Voodoo goes down, Doodoo Voodoo takes that Carter Cart. Left in its Tracer. Then you take him down. There will be no one left to get. It doesn't matter. There was no one left to contest. It takes the first point of this entire match for him.
And they're chasing down that Tracer who no longer has recall. I will note one thing. Ramatra's ultimate, Annihilation, puts him into the punchy mode and starts doing damage, and it lasts for as long as he's near enemies. He has that defensive utility, and he could have stayed alive if he only had blocked. But Big Soup has this issue of not playing defensive enough on Ramatra. It could have cost the fight. Doodoo Voodoo came in with a clutch damage here, about to get taken out in the backline, though, running away as fast as he can, humanly possible.
Oh my gosh, they know where he is, too. He's trying to dodge damage, and they predict where he'll be. but he does make it out, thankfully.
Important to note, they still have Carter Cart's ultimate. As Big
Oh.
gets destroyed by a spear and headshot from Carter Cart, they can't fight them.
He just got sunlocked there. He couldn't move. Chongyo's barely avoids another spear coming out here. Oh, but it does not avoid the headshot there. Or no, actually it was Maruki that took him down. But
Still, a rail
yeah.
does enough damage to
Yeah.
secure any kill. Sinner is having some issues actually falling back. Every second wasted is like 2 or 3% onto the point. So they need to play careful, but they also need to play fast. Seeing as the ultimate's fairly even, save for the Carter Cart ult. Tracer ult actually isn't that impactful most times, but you know,
it can get one big pick, but it charges fast, which is
charges fast. That's a big thing, but usually it's not considered.
Uh,
Being picked off early as they start to spy check and look around.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get out.
Oh, Coalescence coming kind of from the back line here. Wrecking, surfing around and get rid of.
Instead of healing.
Yeah, but it might go in their favor. They took out
They're
the
pushing
orb.
the aggression.
Well, Blizzard coming out here. It didn't get stopped. Can they
There's a
freeze? They
big
did.
freeze on multiple people.
There we go.
Gotta kill the Mara before she ults. There's Mara.
Yeah, that's big.
There's the overclock.
Can they get the Orisa? Dudu dashing out there, not getting blasted there. Maruki goes down. Echo takes down Dudu. Big Soup is still on the point there. There goes Rat King. Okay, there go Carter Cart.
He
All that's
needs
left
to
is
stay
the
alive.
Tracer.
He needs to stay alive for as long as possible.
Oh no!
Throws out the
But Stargarden's on the point.
Stargarden on the point, not healing, only speed.
Probably should start healing. Oh,
Little
but he
too late healed.
He tried for the boot.
If
It wasn't
Big
enough.
Soup was able to get that shield out in time,
Yeah.
Stargarden would have been able to play around it and survive just for a bit longer and get that touch. Again, these super small micro things cost it, but also when you get to 99, I think Dudu just dies here. He keeps getting caught out and keeps getting caught by the enemy team. And as I've been recently playing Sombra on white team, on gold team, you do not want to get caught out.
No.
Most times you want to play with your team, as Army Red has sussed him out. They have figured out that he is in the backline looking for picks. And if Dudu continues the same pattern over and over again, he gets predictable.
Yeah, and he needs to.
A
Oh,
big
they caught out there. That could center in charge here. We see Terra.
The Terra Surge too, canceling the ultimate. There goes the Ramacha ultimate is too as Coalescence comes out. Big Soup.
Oh, he's trying to defend. He's defending as much as he can. And there's Coalescence coming on, and Henley does fall.
A lot of ultimates committed to the fight.
Nocturna's out as well. There's no supports, no DPSs. Oh, actually, there's one DPS.
One
Echo's
DPS.
still alive. Will they actually take him down this time? They do, and thanks to a hack and a virus. It's
We see the
enough.
power of Sombra when Dudu plays with the team.
Yes.
The hack onto the Tracer at the beginning of the fight, one pick down. The hack onto the
Now-
Orisa, stopping Terra
I
Surge.
do worry what he's doing right now.
He's going for the Tracer. I'm almost certain he's going for the Tracer, and he's been losing. Except for the very first one, he's lost all of these backlines. And I will say, we committed 4 ultimates into that.
Okay.
Three
There might be a chance. It might be.
This is
playing
some
right
good
here.
scouting from Dudu here as Army is taking the
Yeah, they're
fight.
going to the left. Oh no, not now, not now. Oh.
Again, it's the risk of getting an early pick
Yeah.
versus getting completely picked off and losing the fight for your team.
we-
It's almost a guaranteed loss if Dudu goes down, but it's not a
Oh,
guaranteed
and
loss.
Donkey Ghost got his Blizzard eaten there by Maruki.
Another ultimate down for Center that got no value as they need to hold off the point for 99. Just need to stall. They have no other win
I
here.
think they will be able to. Big Soup's not looking too weak just yet. There, he got it.
Got
All
to
right.
99, and he's built up some ult charge. That's good for them. It is currently 1-1, 99% on the point. Center needs to win one fight with 0 ultimates. They're going up onto the Rampage from, not Rampage, Annihilation from Big Soup and the Coalescence, but we do see a bunch of ultimates from RMU. 2 at the moment, almost 4 on deck with Echo and Kindling as that Coalescence is building up as well.
Yeah, this is not the best outlook here for Center College, but even if they die fast, they should have a second attempt at least. at
They
this
need to
point.
move in now as they try and
Yeah.
take out the Tracer who gets in. And we see Dudu making so much value, helping his team. when
Oh,
he's with
Coalescence
them.
coming out early. First ult actually from Center College here where they had
There
0.
goes the
There's
overclock.
Terra Surge. Will
Terra Surge
be
and
enough.
overclock, taking out.
Stargarden goes down, and there Murray
Great hit.
falls as well.
There's the Annihilation.
Uh-huh.
The Baptiste almost dead.
No, there we go.
Coalescence as well from RMU, but it's not enough in time as
Dudu does go down though. Carter Cart takes down Rat King. I think all that's left is Big Soup. Echo, their only
He needs to
ult
die.
left is Echo though. Oh, not anymore actually.
So
It did
in
fall.
this case, they're in last touch scenario. Stargarden is getting set up to touch the point so the rest of his team can trickle in after him or at least group up. But it looks like they're going to give the point instead and try to group up.
Interesting.
it's not a bad play, but now they are 1-2, meaning if they lose the next point, the map goes to RMU Red. But we've seen that Sinner can take control of this. They can do this.
Yeah.
But everyone, you can all see how fast that was. We went from 9-0 to losing the point. Tracer's kind of caught out, but I like the holding off here, as Dudu didn't know where the rest of the team was. And that's what's catching him out.
He's
going forward for some scouting. I hope he just does scouting.
Oh no. Okay. Well, he did get the hack.
There's force the
Great.
recall.
I don't know where she went. Okay, there she went. Oh, can they take her damage? If they had gotten that.
Oh, so close. 1 HP on Echo, but the commitment isn't there. Now they're losing point in time. Echo's doing a much better job of disrupting the backline.
That is
I think
true.
Dudu is. And I think it's just better for Dudu to stick with the team and get those clutch hacks off and get that off-angle damage in.
No, scouting is not the move, but they have kind of isolated here the Orisa.
And we do see
He does get around the corner, but we see Big Suit coming in.
There's the EMP, a massive EMP to almost everyone on the team.
We have a Blizzard here. Is it going to come out? It might need to.
It needs to now.
They did the wall. They're not going to actually try to.
They don't have the point.
They get the point now.
As they need to.
Oh, but Amplification Matrix is out.
3 Blizzard can come out.
Stargarden's done.
They're
And he used it, and he blew it. It did not actually come out. He died too fast for its use, and there goes Racking, there goes Big.
By the time that the Blizzard sent out, they had already lost 1 team member. And I do commend the holding of it until he pressed Q.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see him just hold on to it for the whole time, or to use it the first time he saw Orisa spin.
He should have, it should have gone out very, no.
Don't do it, Dudu Voodoo. We can see the thought process.
Yeah. I just get this hack off. I can almost surely kill him. Right?
We see Coalescence come out, but Coalescence coming out.
Not gonna be. Oh, we got a hack there on Maruki. Okay, big kill. There's a.
There's the pulse bomb.
It doesn't hit anybody. Can they get Baptiste? Baptiste is done. And they get Kindling. There's no supports left. 1 DPS. That's all that remains. And they do, thankfully, take down Carter Cart. It looks like Tracer is trying to disrupt a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. There's beat there for Stargarden.
As we move into this last fight, every fight now is essentially a last fight. If Sinner loses 1 fight and they can't touch in time, they will lose this series.
No.
Not the series, this map. Sorry. They'll lose the map and bring the series 0-3. And they are low on the ult advantage here with Carter Cart, Kindling, and Maruki, all of ults here. Only 2 on theirs.
Racking looking really weak, but thankfully survives.
They're holding the space here well as Baptiste is forced to use Lamp early. There's the beat coming out and the Annihilation.
Yes, that's a huge Annihilation there. Can they get the Baptiste down? They unfortunately can't, but Cart goes down to the Annihilation. That is a huge pick there for Center College.
And the overclock as well, getting the ultimate down. The fight is heavily in Center's favor.
Oh, huge picks coming out here. Nocturna hacked as well. Looks like Center will take this point, and we move to... We move to 0.5 here on
match point. And it is my favorite point on this map, the Blue Lagoon. There are many Sinner Overwatch players who are currently residing within the Blue Lagoon as they accidentally jump off the map. It's one of my favorite points on this map. And we do see, not only did Sinner win the fight, they won with ult advantage afterwards too.
Yes.
RMU Red used just about everything.
They're going to have Amplification Matrix. They're going to have Pulse Bomb. They got to keep track of that Pulse Bomb because it could...
Hacked onto the...
Oh,
again,
finally.
Destructive
It actually worked.
But he's caught out.
Oh, he is. Can they distract him? He got the virus off on Chonky Ghost, but it was enough. So both skirmishes.
There's the Coalescence coming out from Rat King.
Can he get a big pick?
There's the Blizzard as well. Lamp is forced out. No one getting caught in the Blizzard.
That's unfortunate.
They're fighting for the point as they don't let it happen. As the Orisa just stands there
Chonky
shooting.
Ghost fall to Carter Cart's rail shot there.
It looks like the point's going to go to RMU Red.
Yeah, and they used 2 ults there and got 0 value for him. That was
As
mighty.
much as I loved the pick onto the Echo, it was the further aggression that got Dudu Voodoo killed.
Yeah.
And I also just realized they used EMP as well. I'm not sure when it happened, but we committed 3 ultimates to that fight.
And got 0 picks.
Got 0 picks, and they were staggered, and it was just poor play overall. We do see it from Dudu Voodoo. They need to push it now to either save Dudu Voodoo or make the advantage. They need to move in now as they go now.
Hopefully both.
Baptiste blocked off from the by wall, and
used his
there's the Terror Surge, but the Orisa's low on HP.
Yeah, and it doesn't find a kill, thankfully. All right, Maruki down to turn it down.
They need to cap point as fast as possible and kill the Lucio.
They don't. It's a little charge possible. Lucio goes down. The only one left is Tracer. They can get a hack off. They don't need that. It falls pretty quickly.
All right, we have a
Oh, what is he doing?
tense point
What is
here.
he doing?
He's hopefully
No,
scouting.
Stop it! Stop it!
He is playing with fire every time. If Doodoo Voodoo goes down, they almost certainly lose the point unless a miracle happens. He needs to play more careful as he almost walks into the enemy once again.
They know they
They
know
know
he's
they're coming
around.
from height. They're
They-
coming from height though.
That
Center
is-
White is ready.
Oh,
Oh, that's 1 HP. Gotta get out. Gotta get out.
He uses no. He gets picked off unfortunately.
We have
But
to be
Arisa
aggressive.
is
We need to go aggressive. There's the beat. There's the annihilation from us. Arisa in the back line.
Stargarden has his own beat as well. Can they take down? Yeah,
Beat
they
coming out.
have a good bait.
Arisa
Good
1 HP,
beat.
but the amplification makes doing so much healing.
There are no picks are found besides the one on Doodoo right now.
They're
Big Soup
Kios,
looking
though.
really. Oh, that's not a good look.
They need to stall
There's
first.
no
which is-
DPS there. Doodoo
Not
looking
deep,
extremely weak. Stargarden dead. Another immortality field out already.
It's okay. They have time to touch again.
They
They
do.
have 90%.
That
They
is
have a
true.
Blizzard. They have an EMP coming up. They have time to touch if they can go quickly.
They just have to take. They have to watch out for Carter Cart's ultimate there. See no picks come out very fast from there.
And the Terra Surge coming out.
The
soon.
Terra
I don't
Surge
think
will
any
be
other
right.
ultimate except for maybe Tracer Bomb can come out in time. But and
Tracer
it's
Bomb
really
has been
important to
very
note, Doodoo Voodoo has to stay alive here. Get the EMP.
Ooh, Chungo's already having to use the Dice Sickle to
Almost
stay
dead.
alive, but we have Blizzard
There's
right
the
here.
spin. Blizzard could come out. There goes.
And it's yeah, Arisa right now.
There it is.
Immortality Field come out. There's the Terra Surge. Unfortunately, it takes down Chunky Ghost. Big Soup and Doodoo Voodoo fall for the damage it brings out as well.
Not yet able to get that EMP off in time. And
No.
the second that Arisa got hacked, she knew that she could Terra Surge with impunity because you can't get hacked again very quickly. An extremely close match there.
Yeah.
I think with just a little bit finer play there, Sinner wins. It is.
Have to be a little tighter. Can't get caught out as much.
I think it was close, but if they're planning to Blizzard the Orisa, they need to get spin out and they need to get gold out.
Yeah.
Fortify causes complete CC immunity for the Orisa, meaning she cannot get frozen. Which the play there, you lock up the tank, you freeze them, and you usually win the fight. But they just were never able to get the tank locked up in time.
And unfortunately, that is it for me as your co-caster. I have to go tutor people, so I will wish the best here for Overwatch White, and I believe we'll have a new guest joining us to take my place.
We will. Jacob Carpenter will be joining us, another member of the Gold team, and hopefully we have some very fun games for him to help me cast on.
Hopefully, I am the bad luck charm here, and my my leaving will turn this whole thing around. So
I don't mean to say anything mean, but I hope it's that too.
Pleasure
Thank
casting
you.
with
It
you.
was indeed.
And roll Kearns, best of luck, Overwatch White.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. I am Jacob Carpenter. I'm joining you all in place of Jackson. Currently play for the gold team. Used to play for the white team, so here I am in support of them. Um, so yeah, yeah. So that last game, by the way, really, really intense. I was watching from outside of the room. Yeah. So how did it feel like more on like the caster side of it? Like I'm
Non-stop.
Yeah.
Non-stop. My throat does kind of have some hurt in it, but I think I'm fine for now. But it was one fight after another, and there were some massive plays where
Yeah.
when you're casting, you cannot help but yell.
Yeah.
One comes to mind when Doodoo Boodoo got like 4 kills with just his
Yeah.
SMG.
That was crazy.
Big EMPs, some big annihilations, but also massive plays coming out from RMU Red. I think they need to watch out for Carter Card, especially going into their next map. Oh, we're going into Push, another new game mode for Overwatch 2. There is a robot that both teams can push. It stops if both teams are there, but you're trying to get the robot as far to the enemy side as you can.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of strategy involved in this game mode, right? So like we have
Specifically,
game
yeah.
modes like control and all of that are they require some strategy, but with when it's push, I feel like it's less forgiving if you make a mistake. So I believe if like center, if they like even misuse like one ult, it can change the entire game. And that's the downside to this game mode. It can either go really fast and be done with in less than like 2 minutes, or it can go on for the entire 10, and just be a battle back and forth.
As we seem to be starting to get into the game now, onto beautiful, beautiful Coliseo, a long-range map. I will say there are lots of sightlines where Carter Card could get some damage in. And I want to follow up on what you said, just like I was saying earlier for Flashpoint maps, there is this macro level that you need to think about. But Push takes it to the extreme. You need to track your ultimates. If you are behind, you need to use ultimates to get back into the front. Because this bot will go back and forth on this symmetrical map. There are good places to defend, and the enemy usually, when you're in an advantage, you want to save your ults for a refight. When you're at disadvantage, meaning they have the lead on the bot, you want to use ults to try and get the advantage back. You need to be conscious of their ults and your ult at all times, and it is a big headache for IGLs. And I definitely am not saying that as someone who's had to do that before. As we see that Orisa poke comp coming out from Army Red. We see the pizza party coming out as well.
Yeah. Something I kind of want to point out is I'm noticing Chunky Ghost is not playing Ashe. And something from the past games, and even in scrims this week, I've noticed he's been playing a lot of Ashe. And it's interesting because you had mentioned that this is a long range map, and he's playing a character that is supposed to be right in their face. I'm assuming he's going to be playing right next to Big Soup.
I believe so.
But it is interesting that he's not going for the long range, but it seems like RMU is going for that.
We do see Doodoo Boodoo back on the Sombra. I like to see it. I think the Sombra is a good play, especially against such a poke-oriented team. They are spy checking hard for him, but he can cause some chaos in the backline. So long as he starts doing some damage, but they are on the lookout for him.
3 people shooting at him. He's
At this point, it might be more beneficial for him just off angle in the front line. I think what he's starting to do.
Yep.
I do like the comp coming out from center here. It is very defensive, but also very forward focused. Instead of the long range poke, they want to just get up in the enemy's face. It seems currently mid fight is going back and forth as Doodoo Boodoo almost gets taken out, but so long as they can stall for as long as possible if they think they're not going to win, it's a big fight. But they're building up that coalescence very quickly.
Both teams just use like some big cooldowns. We just saw Big Soup uses Nem. We also just saw Suzu come out. But Orisa also just used gold and is probably getting it again soon.
Carter Cart alone on the left flank, but no one there to abuse that mispositioning. There we go, Doodoo Boodoo, not Doodoo Boodoo, Chonky Ghost. Sorry, I'm so used to it. Trying to go fight it as he almost gets taken out too, but still, no fights, no deaths have happened in the first 2.5 minutes as Coalescence comes out from Rat King, the first ultimate of the game, getting speared.
Spin out though. There needs to push in here. We have Rush. He's gonna use it. He uses it.
Terrasurge is gonna come out.
Spin out.
No picks, no picks, no picks. Big Soup needs to hold right click. Once again, not playing defensive enough in that Nemesis form as he gets picked off, and the fight is going to go to RMU's favor hard here with 2 picks for them.
I believe it was just a layering issue, to be quite honest. I think RMU kind of just waited till the right opportunity to use their ults and cooldowns. It seems like they're also just forcing Center to use the cooldowns early. I think Center needs to be a little more mindful of that here.
I also want to note one more thing. Center has a much more forward-focused brawl comp. yet they were the ones being pushed back.
Indeed, yeah.
Because the power and space that Maruki just takes, it feels like sometimes they aren't actually just pressuring Maruki at all on the Orisa, and this whole series.
Yeah, I mean, I think Center just needs to find their like confidence here. I mean, we have really confident players, but it's just like you said, they're getting pushed back. Stone's on the high ground here. Center's gonna look to push him out here, and
There's an annihilation.
beats out from RMU, and so is Lamp. Some big cooldown.
This can actually be a winning fight if Center plays careful here. That's 2 down. They need to get out and die, I think, at this point, or stall the
Maybe
card.
look at least for a pick or two.
Honestly, stalling here is not bad, but there goes Rat King, and now the spawns are going to be extremely staggered. Again, it's the first pick of the fight every time. Maruki is just showing his absolute dominance on the tank as they get to the first checkpoint. On push maps, there are checkpoints on both sides, and if you are the last person to get to a checkpoint, your spawn moves up.
The Center honestly needs to look to gain momentum here, as RMU is seeming to just like have control of the entire momentum of the game right now. I honestly think, but and
Another
Duke
first
goes
pick
down.
on the map. Fight is not going to go in their favor if they try and fight it here. They need to stall for as long as possible.
Those first picks by RMU are just huge here. And Cole comes out from Rat King.
They need to push.
Center can push in. Center
What needs to be a
push
reason
in.
here? Lamp forced
Lamp
out.
Center needs to look for something here. Hanzo by himself.
Looking
on the
for
lane.
DMP coming out, but no follow-up coming from Center White. As Soup is able to take out Echo, and the Orisa's 1 HP, and
Window
Window
comes
comes
out.
forced out too. It's a lot of ultimates,
There's
but
one.
another fight lost by Center. They can't get the momentum that they need. Stargarden needs to die or get out here.
Yep.
Instead, trying to brawl the Lucio and getting picked off with a stagger.
I was gonna say that. Say, and RMU's already really close here, 106, and I believe it goes to 135. So Center needs to get it here. And Center, let's see here. We have a reroll and a rush. I think we need to look to rush here first. And I don't know, Chunky Ghost needs to look for his reroll.
We need an effective and a fast ultimate, and we need to not get picked off at the start of this fight.
Big
We
cooldown was already coming up.
picked off at the start of the fight once again, as there goes the Terra Surge first, right into the Kitsune Rush. Another fight.
All ults coming out for RMU here.
That is all of their ultimates. I think Center might be able to get one more. Yeah, they will have plenty of time to touch, but RMU has pushed it all the way to their spawn now.
Chunky Ghost just needs to see this opportunity to ult here, because it's going to be a fat ult if he can get through there.
Look
at-
off again.
here he
There's
is.
gold coming out. There's a bubble going on to Chunky Ghost too, but this is still massive. It forces out so much. There goes Rat King though. And there goes Big Soup. And unfortunately to say, that is going to be the end of our NECC Emergence Northeast Championship Finals game. 0-4 Center and RMU Red. I will say these were some really close games, really good battles fought. I think the highlight of tonight was most definitely Cervasa.
That was a really fun match to watch. It was very tense. I was laid on the edge of my seat the entire time. And I think that honestly started some momentum there for Center emotionally and just as a team. But it looks like here in Coliseo, RMU is a little more, they just won the first fight and got the picks.
And please do stay tuned for some after-game interviews with our players. So stick around for just a little while longer as we get that set up. Hello and welcome.
I was not expecting that.
Hello and welcome to our first post-game interview. Here we have team captain and DPS player Chunky Ghost and tank player Big Soup. I want to ask both of you, how do you feel overall about the match? Honest feelings here.
I'll start, and I feel pretty good. We kind of knew this would be a difficult game going in, and honestly, I'm still really proud of these guys. Some of the things I said at the beginning of this season were I don't care if we win, I just want us to improve, and goddamn, we have improved.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
Wow, I mean, we really have done so good. I'm really proud of these guys, especially Sue. He took on the role of tank this season and did absolutely phenomenal. I'm really, really proud of him. I'm still really happy. I know we lost. We're second place. First time Overwatch White has gotten second place. So
True.
I'm really happy with that. I'm really proud of that. We're still improving. Still got some room to improve, and I'm really happy with how the season turned out.
You're all super.
I'd definitely be lying if I said I wasn't a little butthurt. I would definitely be lying if I said I wasn't a little upset. But at the same time, I think that a big thing for me, when we talked about like, you wanted to learn, get better over the season. For me, it was I wanted to prove my worth as a tank. I wanted to prove that I could play well in the role that I told myself I was good at. And I feel like second place is pretty dang close.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Pretty dang close. And I feel like I performed as well as I could have. And I feel like there's not much else to it at that point.
Good to hear. All right. Well, I'm gonna start with you this time, Soup. What would be like the one highlight of this match? What was your best play?
Best play. There was not a lot that I was very proud of, but I definitely think that Ramatra on Servasa. Ramatra on Servasa, I feel like me and Stargarden have been working on that Lucio Ramatra for quite a bit, and I'm glad that we were able to execute that in a formidable way, even if it wasn't a win. I'm kind of proud of the annihilations I pulled out there.
All right, Chunky Ghost. What would you say your
Oh,
proudest
man.
moment of the match was?
On that very first map, that castle. Oh my gosh, that was. I just screamed. I was like, hell yeah! I was really happy about that. Even though we didn't do too hot on Oasis, I was really happy about that.
It was a big play.
It was awesome. I just hopped up there. They were all open. The lamp was out. Hit that 3K. Oh, it was great.
All right. Well, I on to my next question. I want to focus a little bit more in on Servasa because me personally, I felt like that was the most
So
intense
close,
match.
yes.
It was the most fun. I want to hear some thoughts on how your comp worked against theirs. What were your thoughts in playing it, and what were those final moments like? 2-2 on the Blue Lagoon point.
There was definitely, as soon as it hits 2-2 and it switches to the other side of the map, I said, "This is the point where the worst at." I audibly said that. It was whenever we reached the 2-2 point, it felt great. It felt we're gonna make it, and then it's Blue Lagoon, and I was like, we're not gonna make it. It was not a great feeling. But the fights I feel like were close, and I like the way that we performed either way.
Yeah. Oh man, that was so close. I will start by saying I'm a little disappointed, and sometimes on May I pop out a little freezes a little too early, so I did it a couple times. I was a little disappointed with that. I did that. But overall, the map was so close, and I think the May was something that they hadn't played yet, and they weren't really expecting. And Diego did fantastic.
Absolutely.
I don't think we would have been that close at all without Diego. So shout out Diego. Like he's been. The Sombra is a brand new pick this season. Like I am so fucking proud. What a great job he's been doing. But that map was so close, and I mean, it was a really close game. I think there was just a little bit of mindset and call outs there that was the difference. But, wow, that was really close.
All right. Well, I've got two more questions for you. First question is, what do you think you guys are looking forward to, or seeing for next season, next year, for what you're going to do for the esports program? What do you think the next year is going to be like? Anything that you're looking forward to?
I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about next season yet. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just really focused on this one. I don't know. I have a gut feeling that we might go up to the next division league, which will be exciting. We probably won't do as well as we did this season, but it's just gonna be really exciting. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. We got some people moving around, so it could really change up. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for next one.
I definitely think that this was my proving my worth as a tank, and I'm very excited to get better. And I think I have been getting better, but
Oh, for sure.
there's definitely just some fine tunes that need to be made, and I think being as good as I want to be is ultimately the goal for next season. And I know that's always changing, but still, I definitely think that just improving at my role.
All right. Well, these were some very close maps. They may not seem it on the scoreboard, but you guys fought tooth and nail every single time.
Yeah.
Who would you vote on the white team other than yourself as MVP for this match?
I already know. I already know, and I would say that this is for the whole season. Um, Good old Rat King. Rat King is not afraid to call me out whenever I'm going too deep, and at the same time, not afraid to pull me back out of the mud every single time. I would not be able to make any of the plays that I made without a coal just beaming through my chest at all times. And I don't know. I very much have to shout out the best Moira player I know. Sorry, Grant.
I'm gonna have to disagree and go Diego.
That's doo doo boo doo.
Yes, Ubu Ubu. I mean, he came into this season mostly only playing Reaper, not coming very much, kind of playing his own Overwatch game. And at the end of the season, he's playing Sombra. He's making call outs. He's working with the team.
Hacker man.
He has done a fast. I'm really proud of him. I know we struggle a little bit tonight. I'm really, really proud of him. He's done a great job.
Well, thank you two for your insights and your answers. Good job on reaching the finals. Seriously, I never got to it. You guys did insane. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to both have played with both of you and to have commented this game.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with the next round of interviews soon. Hello and welcome to our second round of interviews. I have with me Skello, Jello, and Doodoo Boodoo, both DPS players for the center white team. The first question, same thing I asked the other two, is overall this season, how did it feel? How did you guys grow? You know, what do you want to bring up? You know, what do you want to highlight over the season?
I think we had a really good season. We went undefeated up until this point. Uh, we did really well against all the teams in our division. I think overall it was a really good season, and I think next year we can probably do even better.
First of all, I just want to say the loss was tough, but I feel like the silver lining throughout our season has been how far we've come as a team. I mean, like I said in past interviews, at the start of the season, most of us haven't even played with each other. So for us going, what was it, 8-0 throughout the season? I mean, that's pretty damn good. And I mean, the friendships established throughout the way have been been the silver lining. Though I'm sad to lose, genuinely. I'm glad to say that I can have all my teammates as like friends and stuff like that. Like we definitely built a good team dynamic, and like that's the type of stuff that'll make make you have buddies in the future. You know what I mean? So,
Teamship camaraderie, one of the biggest pillars of the athletics program at Center, is building that camaraderie with your teammates, and esports is no different. Um, let's get a bit more into the details of the match itself. You know, uh, Voodoo Voodoo, what would you say your highlight of the match was? What was the biggest play that you can think of?
I don't know. I started doing well once I went on Sombra. I'd say I was getting diffed as Reaper. Um, my biggest highlight, I guess, is just getting some key hacks in and maybe some backline picks. That's just about it. I don't really feel too satisfied with my performance. So.
Very well. Well, Skello Jello, I know you didn't get any playtime in this game, but I do have an important question to ask. You are the newest member of Center White, still a freshman. I want to know how has it been? Your first season in esports. I know that there's been a lot of growth, and there's been a lot of growth and new things to adjust to. I kind of want to get that insight into your experience.
Yeah, just like Diego said, like we all really good friends now. We typically get dinner after practice, and it's just been a lot of fun. Especially for me, just as I said, like coming in second semester, joining the esports team, and I know it was hard to adjust with a new teammate because these guys have played together last season. But I think that they welcomed me in, and I got a good look at how competitive Overwatch actually looks. And I had a lot of fun this season. I didn't get to play in every game, but I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot about the characters that I'm playing.
All right. Well, I want to see if we can think about how were discussions, how were comms mid game. When the tensest points happen, how was the discussion? How was the planning? How was the out of game talk? I wanna learn more about how you guys were planning and thinking and discussing.
I mean, I genuinely feel like we were giving good comms. I think we were being very communicative, especially in like the last three games. I I I don't know. We just got outplayed, I guess, genuinely speaking. Like our comms were very good. I don't feel like there was anything that could have been changed. Um, yeah, I think communications were good as a team. Definitely started off rough the first game, but I definitely think the throughout the last three games, the comms were good.
Yeah, I was listening the whole time. They had really good comms. They were calling out people's positions the whole time. I really do think they're just probably better than us at probably comms. I mean, we had really, really good comms, and there's definitely some areas that we can improve. Uh, Especially in that, I think the first two matches we were a little quieter, but those last two matches they were calling out pretty much everything. We definitely improved in comms over the whole of the game.
All right. Well, I have two more questions for you. This next one, I wanna get your thoughts on as you guys were going into this last match. This is the first time Center White ever got to the finals. Last season, we only got to semifinals and got eliminated. Then you guys knew you were fighting the best team out of anyone in your division. You knew that there's a lot of stakes. I know there was a lot of pressure too. I want to know what you guys were thinking, what headspace y'all are in going into this match, and you know what problems that might have caused or what solutions that might have caused. Either way, this way of thinking.
I don't know. I feel like this isn't really just like with the game. This is just a general statement. I feel like it's really hard to keep a good mentality when you've lost like so many games in a row. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I definitely think that was a big impact on just our team mindset. But we did a great job battling through that like internal mental battle as a team. I feel like it really just came down to who was the better team skill wise. I guess like there's really not much more I could say. I think the fact that we lost so many games definitely influences it. But also just the intensity of playing in a finals match. Like I don't think most of our team has ever, like you said, it's the first time Center White has ever been there. So just that intensity, I guess, got to our minds. So I do feel like we could have played better, but maybe that fact got us off the edge.
Yeah, I think there were check-ins between each match. Like we just had to keep going. We were losing, but we were still improving. The for every match we had improvements.
Oh yeah.
And so I feel like yes, the mental like got down when we would lose a match, but we'd go right back into it being like, oh, we can win, we can do better on this next map, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, on that note, the score doesn't show it, but these were all really close games. It was a struggle. You guys were fighting tooth and nail both times. I want to know who each of you think was the most valuable player for this game of Overwatch. Who did the most? And you can't pick yourself.
Probably say Soup. Soup's definitely the most valuable player. I mean, just as a tank player, like the tank bears the most responsibility with shot calling and just overall commitment to plays and the team and all that. Like the tank is the central pillar of the team. So I would say Soup definitely.
Yeah, I'd probably say Soup as well. He had really good comms, and he was kind of the pillar of what we would play around. And so I thought that he was probably the most valuable player for this game.
Well, thank you two very much for the interview. Good job. You guys got farther than I ever did. Good game, y'all. Seriously. Thank you for the interview. Stay tuned. We have 2 more players coming up real soon. Hello and welcome. We have our final 2 players of the Overwatch White team. I'm joined by Leaf Stargarden Becker and Drake Rat King Wright, both of the support players for Center White. And I want to start this off with, how did you feel about the match overall? What are your feelings afterwards? And, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I noticed that as the support lineup, we played extremely, extremely well. Our numbers were absolutely massive, getting all those heals down. Drake and I made some massive plays just in terms of keeping our tank up, keeping our team up. I personally had a lot of good plays with like using Suzu to stop some ultimates, using Lucio's beat to stop some ultimates. So I just think personally as a support duo, we played very, very
Yeah, I don't feel bad about the way I played. I played to the best of my ability, and regarding the outcome of the match, I don't feel sorry about it or anything.
You guys played really well. I don't think anyone on your team should feel bad about how the match went. It was a tough battle, but you guys tried your best. I do want to close in a bit more on the games. I personally felt like Saravasa was not only the most intense, but also the closest of these maps. And getting to that 2-2, go into the Blue Lagoon. It's a dangerous prospect. So tell me, what were the thoughts of Saravasa? How were you feeling in those high intensity moments? And what was happening? What was going on in your heads and in the comms as you got to that final 2-2, 50% left on the point for the enemy?
Yeah, so definitely in my head as a Lucio player, I was thinking like, okay, my tank's gonna call my speeds, my tank's gonna kind of set the pace of this fight. And if he said we've got to pick, we're gonna go in, I was like, okay, we're going in full commit. So, but like, I just needed to go with what everyone said, commit with what everybody said, and it just kind of there was a lot of adrenaline going on as a Lucio player, kind of jumping off walls, going every single way. It was a little bit stressful, but I think we played to the best of our ability.
I was thinking of just to do what I've been doing all season, keep everybody alive. Rip Cole off the cooldown.
Rip Cole off a cooldown. And those coalescences were certainly very powerful. And, the Kitsunes and the beats were as well. On that note, I know as support players, you guys have a bit of a disconnected point of view from the rest of the team. You're usually a little farther back, or at least you're seeing things other people don't. So what kinds of things did you guys notice, as the match progressed? What things, mistakes might have happened, or plays that the enemy made that were more predictable? Were there any things that as support players you felt that you had the unique experience to be able to talk about and, plan for?
Yeah, I know for a fact that Drake and I both realized that their tracer in our backline was beating us up. Like Drake and I were both like, "Oh my gosh, there's a tracer in our back. We're gonna try and focus on heals, but just keep in mind there is a tracer in our backline." And we managed that. We tried to like switch onto the Cassidy, make those things kind of work. But having like them playing such flank heavy characters, Drake and I noticed that the most as the supports in the
Exactly what we've just said. I got nothing to add on.
Well, very well then. This is a bit more of a personal question. I'm gonna start with you, Drake. What do you think your biggest play was this match? What was the highlight of the match for you?
And multiple, they kind of just blur together for me.
Can you give us any examples?
I think it Cole on Suravasa. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I don't know the name of the point, but there's a lot of calls on Suravasa and all of them good.
All of them good. So some clutch call and save the team, got some big damage out.
Good heals, kept everyone up.
What I'm hearing is also just some really good consistency, and that's what I always love to hear from support players: is consistent plays. What about you, Leaf? What would you say your highlight of this match was?
I would say there was a beat on Thurvasa that it started off just getting me, but then it spread to both my DPS, and it made us able to like finalize that cap of the point before our tank got there. And then I also had a Suzu on Thurvasa that as soon as the Orisa slammed down, I threw down the Suzu and nobody died from it.
Oh,
So it was one of my better Suzus that I've had in a long time.
all right, two more questions for y'all. One, generally, I think it's just more about gameplays here. I felt like during the match, the enemy ultimates were very powerful most of the time, and a lot of times we're countering things like Kitsune Rush. What were you guys doing to play around ultimates? Who was tracking stuff, if any? I wanna think about the ultimate plays there and how it was going.
Yeah, I definitely think that I was trying to look at what their support ults were doing, kind of like if they had a Lucio and I was playing Lucio, kind of how we were looking in terms of stats and whatnot. And then I know that Drake and I were often the first people to build our ultimates, so we would try and use them almost as soon as we possibly could.
I got nothing really to say on that regard.
Very well. Well, then my last question, as I've said to everyone so far, this was a really tough map. The 04 does not tell the story. These were close, tooth and nail. You guys were battling for your lives out there, sweating your butts off. Who would you vote as the MVP for this match? You can't pick yourself.
Well, as a support player, I would love to pick myself, but I think if I had to go for like anyone who isn't me, it would either be Drake getting a Cole every single fight, or it would be Soup just kind of like going in, getting all that space taken, using those ults in a way to kind of like back their team up and just take all that damage for us.
Gotta pick one.
I gotta pick one. Oh
Gotta
my
pick
gosh.
one.
Well, I'm gonna go with my support duo Drake, just because
Loyalty.
Yeah, I have to. I gotta do that support loyalty. I mean, his calls were absolutely insane. When I would misplay and I would fall out of the fight, Drake would be able to keep everyone alive without me.
I'm gonna have to give it to my other support because so many times where I was out of cooldown, out of charge to heal, and a beat would come in and save the fight. So I gotta give it to Leaf.
I'm glad to hear. There's some great camaraderie on White Team, I've heard. And thank you both very much for both your gameplay and coming in for this interview. It's been a pleasure. You guys got farther than I ever did. So good job, seriously, and thank you very much.
Of course, thank you.
No problemo. You guys all heard it here first. Thanks for watching very much the stream and supporting the White Team. This is probably one of the best matches I've casted in a hot minute. Good job, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching.